give a little glimpse back, I um, I'm a person that honors my trenches first and foremost. I think many times in life we don't think that we can show up. We don't think that we can be successful. We don't think that we can speak on anything or be a leader or be in any type of position, especially as a woman. Um, when we still feel messy and undone, when we still feel like there's a lot that we got to accomplish, we're like, okay, well, I'm not going to say anything until I get my degree, or I'm not going to say anything until, I don't know how Beachbody works, but until I have a certain amount of people on my team, or until I recruit this many people, or until I have this many followers or whatever. So I think that that was a piece that really haunted me for a long time in sharing my story. um, because if anybody knows, like, I'm from Louisville. I don't know where you all are from, but it's a very small town. Okay. I made a mess of Louisville my whole life, 18 years. And so that followed me like a shadow, literally wherever I went. It still does. But so, in order for me to ever feel like I hustled a lot in my life, so once I decided that I need to do something with my life, it constantly was this feeling of, well, people still see me as this. People still see me as that. People still associate me with this. I constantly felt that whenever I showed up or whenever I felt like I accomplished something, I ultimately had to take myself back. Um, and I had to really step back before I could acknowledge anything that I felt like was growth or healing or success. So, to bring back to my trenches, because I feel like we always have to honor those. I feel like we always have to say that where we come from and what we've been through in order for people to truly see us and be able to acknowledge how badass or boss lady or how amazing we are, because we aren't who we are because of what happens today. We are who we are because of what has happened prior and what we do with it. So, I normally, even when I speak, when I have the opportunity to tell my story, I normally always say, like, people don't ask me for where I'm at in life right now. Not one person does. Not one person wants me to talk about where I am right now. So I've hustled for literally years to try to be seen. And yet, everybody, when they ask me, they want to know about my trenches. They want to know about the hardest times in my life now. And that is like one of the biggest honors that I could have ever fathomed, because there's many times, I'm sure, like you all, that you've been through circumstances, you've been through relationships. I know me and her have talked about relationships. We've been in all these different type of scenarios that we never thought would mean anything. Like, we never thought we could use it. We never thought it'd be beautiful. We never thought that it would be something that we would want to stand in front of anybody and claim. Like, we all have those shadows. We all have those, our darkest days. We always have our trials and tribulations. And I think when we're in them, we're like, how could this be anything? Like, how could this be used as anything? How could I ever be seen and still speak about this at the same time and be seen as a successful woman, or be seen as a respectable woman, or be seen as a, um, you know, as an empowered woman, a beautiful woman, a healing woman. So, um, a little glimpse, because we'd be in here for 5 hours if I told you my whole life story, but a little tidbit is that when I was younger, I was raised in a really privileged home, but no one knew outside of my home what it was really like inside. So, um, my dad is an addict. He still is. I mean, he was when I was younger as well, and that took us to a lot of different scenarios. And him obviously abusing my mom in the midst of that. Both of my sisters are older than me, so they were up out of the house. And it ended up being me against what felt like the world inside my home. So my mom is very sacred to me. She still is very sacred to me, but as a young girl, I did everything in my power to be able to protect her. So I became really angry and resentful and mad and loud and full of all the type of cuss words that you can think of, and I just didn't care. Um, so I was in a private school. We lived this high end life. Everyone thought, we were just the epitome of a perfect family. So when I started spiraling out of control, using drugs, alcohol, I had a .66 GPA in high school, which I'm pretty sure just means I signed my name somewhere. I don't even know how you get that. But I was sent to a residential care facility for troubled teens all the way in Missouri when I was a junior in high school. Literally one day was in the midst of my life, the next day completely yanked out. I was there for 7.5 months. I graduated that program, but if anybody knows, when you separate yourself from something and then you're brought back to the same environment, anything that you have learned or gained, you can't really keep. So I was tugging on some things that I had learned in therapy or that I had learned at this treatment facility. But when I came home, it was in the same exact environment. So I dove deeper. That's when pills were introduced into my life. That was my dad's drug of choice too. So I know a little bit of that was rebellion. But the other piece of that was um, trying to experiment and trying to numb my life. So from that point on, not having a healthy relationship to be mirrored for me, not really having any healthy coping mechanisms, not having really any experience in anything, I dove into everything 1,000%. So after that, I was engaged sexually. I was giving my body away. I didn't know my worth. I was partying constantly. I was running away. I ran away when I was 18 or 16, and I did not move back in until I actually found out I was pregnant when I was in college. So I got in a really abusive relationship, and we had, if it tells you how fast things went, we started dating in September. I found out I was 2 months pregnant in November. I was at this point, I was living a very, very numbing lifestyle. So when I found out I was pregnant, I had to cold turkey everything. And then also try to figure out how I was going to piece my life together. I was surrounded by really toxic people in a toxic relationship. My pregnancy was very difficult on my body. And that's why I wrote You're a Badass Coach right here. And I was like, you know, everything that has to do with health and fitness and body has been like an impact in my life, and how I have like pushed myself to the edge a lot of times. I have criticized my body because of the relationships I've been in. Other people have criticized my body. And so Beachbody has been really empowering to me. It feels like it's something I can whip out of my pocket whenever I want it. And it's like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. I'm going to choose to love myself, and I'm going to do this because of me. This is about me and like what I desire for my life. So I found out I was pregnant at the age of 20. I moved back home. I hadn't talked to my family in years. My mom, of course, because she's a saint of all saints. If anybody should hate me, it should have been her, because I like totally ruined her life, or tried to. But she welcomed me back in. So my son, I literally call him, like, his middle name is Thamazo, so it's to be in awe or amazed by a miracle. It's exactly what he is. He is my greatest awakening. And after that, I tried to get my life together. I was like, you know what? I think sometimes in our lives, we don't feel like we're worthy of things. We don't think we're worthy of healthiness. We don't think we're worthy of maybe sobriety. We don't think we're worthy of being healthy with our bodies or healthy with our minds. We don't feel like we're worthy of being successful or leaving an unhealthy relationship. But when he was in my womb, it was literally like, okay, I might not be worthy of that, but he is. So that was a sign to me that I could do something. And he gave me that extra effort to be like, oh no, you can be healthy, you can be successful, you can get your life right. Like, you can do all of these things, and you got to now, um, so after that, I did, like, if anybody knows anything about domestic violence, I went back and forth and back and forth. I ended up getting a domestic violence order, which was 500 feet restriction, a 3-year time away. And I broke that I went back to the court system. I got it changed so that we could be back together. It was a really hard back and forth process. That's when I chose to go to school for social work. And I remember being in class, and as you know, like, I barely made it through high school. So struggling as a single mom going to school. And I remember reading about domestic violence in the books, and I was like, why is this my life? Like, I'm going to ask a couple questions in class, and I'm not going to act like it's me asking for a friend, myself, because I am in this. So that's what really helped me, was actually my education and the legal resources that I found as a single mom. And I was able to get free legal help through the government. And actually, I just got to speak on the news with them the other day as a success story. And I was able to finally get my life right. I went and got my bachelor's and then my master's. And then the piece that is so pivotal is what she wanted me to talk about today is the fact of telling your story. And I think that it took me a long time. It took me a very long time to say anything. I kind of moved in the dark, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll say this here, maybe I'll say this here. And then every time I would take it away, every time I would delete it, every time I would say, no, I'm not worthy of that. Like, I can't do that yet. I'm not where I want to be yet. I can't talk about it. And the one thing I can really try to encourage you to do is to figure out what keeps you from telling your story. Because underneath that is going to be a lot of shame stories. It's going to be a lot of things that people have told you that aren't right. It's going to be a lot of, you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. You shouldn't be doing that. What are you doing that? Take it down. No one cares. Everyone's going to think you're ridiculous. You're not there yet. Don't do it yet. Stop it. Don't do it yet. The muckiest of our times is when I call it the in-betweenness. So that is our pieces like of our core that make us who we are. If we do not share in the in-betweenness, how is anyone else going to know that there's such thing as an in-betweenness? Okay. All of us are struggling with like the same things, whether it be lack of self-worth, whether it be lack of confidence, whether it be body shame, whether it be unhealthy relationships, whether it be negative thought processes that we literally get louder and louder every day, and we're not acknowledging them, whether it be feeling like we can't or we won't or we will never, or maybe it's, well, people don't care. Why would I say that? People don't care. I'm telling you right now, I have had more people that have inboxed me years later, more therapists that have told me than actual individuals themselves. And more times I've spoken at events of people that have come that I did not even know ever read my post. So what I'm telling you is that whenever you lean in and whenever you choose to speak your truth or to say something, this is not for anybody else. Initially, it's for your own healing. So like when you decide to lean, what is that one motivational speaker's name? It's a guy, he like has this raspy voice. He's like very well known. I don't know. I don't like anything he says, but one thing that he said. I don't even remember his name. That's how, yes, Tony Robbins, whatever. I don't even like, he's so aggressive in the way he says stuff. But there's one thing he did say that hit home to me. And now every single time I'm like, I can totally see myself doing it. So, and you all probably think about this too. I don't know how you all are on social media or how you are on anything, journaling, talking. Sometimes it's even in these hard conversations with each other. There is moments where you have, like, it feels like on the edge moments. Okay. It's like what I call passion booms. That's what I call them. That's the only way to describe them. So like when you get all the way hyped about something, you can feel it in your bones. You can feel it everywhere. And you're like, I want to say this. I'm going to say this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to speak about this, or I'm going to say to this girl in Target, she is so cute. Like, how are you so cute? Like, or I'm going to say what you said inspired me, or that post inspired me. How many times do we get all the way to the edge and we don't lean? We stay on the ledge long enough to talk ourselves all the way back. You know, it's like, okay, well, maybe that's stupid. They're going to look at me like I'm weird. Another inch back. That's unnecessary. Now people are going to know things that they don't know. Now they're going to look at me differently. Now they're going to judge me. No, this is stupid. Why would I even do that? Why does anybody care about my story? The next thing you know, you are all the way back there, right? Like, you're not going to say anything back there. But if you're all the way up here and you're like, man, okay, in this moment, is this my truth? Is this what I want to say? Is this something that I feel so fiercely that I feel like I need to lean into it? If you give yourself like more than a minute, you're not going to do it. Lean. Post it, press post, put it in your journal, put it in a text message to yourself, send it to your tribe, and do it and lean into it. And if there is discomfort, cool. That's supposed to be there. Vulnerability is not fun. I learned that the very first thing when I started the soul grind. The soul grind started when I just started ripping and roaring on my life. I had just gotten out of, first of all, I had hopped from an abusive relationship to one that was completely opposite. And then that dude just up and left me one day. And I was like, what? So then I started, all of a sudden, decided to just quit smoking cigarettes altogether. And I just was like, I'm gonna start the soul grind. I don't even know what this is, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start writing. And the first post I put on there gets bashed so bad. Like literally, there's like 5 people. I just broke up with this guy. His whole tribe is on there, just talking all types of things to me. I wanted to hide under my covers for like 10 days. I didn't take it down. I didn't post anything, but I was like, this is why I shouldn't do it. All the shame stories, all the no's, all the get back from the ledges. And I was like, no. After like I let it settle, because I realized I wasn't posting anymore. I wasn't saying anything anymore. I had disappeared and I had started to become silent again. And then after that, I was like, no, this is exactly what this is for. This is not for anyone else right now. This is for me. The first time I ever did an event, I was in front of Quill's Coffee Shop, and I had this little dinky little thing with note cards, and I had people write inspiration, and I had people walking out from the coffee shop asking them to just post these little inspiration things on the wall. Like, I was doing the most simplest things, but you know what? I knew that I just need to start leaning. I didn't care how messy it looked. I didn't care how unorganized it looked. I just knew that I was supposed to lean. And I knew that I needed no buffers to get back up. Because at the end of the day, using our voice and telling our stories is the most powerful thing that we can do. If you have made it through hard times, hard relationships, trials and tribulations, all of that. If you've made it through all of that and you are here right now, those versions of yourself are still asking to be seen and heard and validated. Every time that I talk about the young version of myself that was rebellious and that was stealing my mom's car and that was running around and that was sad and that was cutting herself in the dark and that was just depressed and trying to fight for my family and protect my mom, every time I talk about her, I honor her. And she's inside of me like, thank you. Thank you. Like, I'm over here. Yeah, thank you. I helped you. I was there. And like, thank you for acknowledging me. Like, thank you that acknowledging that time was hard, that you were going through a horrible time. Thank you. And every time I get to crack her open, she also touches somebody else. And so how powerful that you not only can love on yourself and tell your story, whether it be about looking at yourself in the mirror one day and feeling completely different, whether it being some experience that you have that triggers you and sharing that triggering experience and how you bounce back, whether it be talking about how you cope now and how it's a healthy way to cope, that now someone else that reads your post or that you talk to in person now has a little tool in their tool belt that they get to walk around with. And like, there's one thing about truth telling and telling your story. Not only is it, you'll feel bare naked. I say this after literally all of the retreats that I have. I want you to prepare that tomorrow you're going to feel like everyone has seen you because they've seen in here. And you're used to being seen out here. You're not used to being seen in here. So when you're seen from this part on, it feels so different. It feels bare. You feel like you're just wide open. You feel like you're seen, but that's because you've been hiding for so long, And sometimes when you've been hiding for that long and you come out, you're like, I feel like I'm on a stage and I'm naked. I used to tell my mom all the time, I would like need 8 hours. And I was like, Mom, I feel like I'm just walking around naked. And all these people I don't know, they are like, oh, I know this, and this about you. And you know what? Piece by piece, and every single time I did it, I was able to put an item of clothing on that what felt like every time I felt stronger. Because like who we are out here is not who we are. Like for me to be able to be seen and feel like powerful in my shit, feel powerful in my trenches, feel power in my stuff, that's what I want to be clothed in. Like that's what I want to be seen in. So if that means bare naked, like I'd rather be that type of bare naked than for real bare naked. So it is hard. It's challenging. It's beautiful. I can't tell you, ever since I've been telling my story, how it has absolutely transformed my life and how it has brought the most epic people into my life. How it has been able to bring people into my life that are more like me than I've ever been surrounded by, because they get it and because they rattle me and because they know when I'm BSing them and because they know when I'm not authentic. And those are the type of people I want in my life. I don't want people that just want me for just showing up. I want people that know my trenches and that are like, yeah, you best be drinking LaCroix Nobody wants you in this world drinking anything other than that, like, and I want literally to be able to be in environments where that's welcomed and where all of me is welcome, not just pieces of me. And you all are all worthy of that too. And you're worthy of showing up now, not when you feel like you're at some certain place in your life, or not when you feel like you should give yourself a little medal because you made it to where you feel like you can. You can share in the messy medal, because I guarantee you about everybody on your social media page is all up in that same messy medal too, and don't be afraid also to share your successes as women, to share and be bold and brave in what you've accomplished and how you've been healing. That's part of honoring yourself too. That's not easy. And just to be able to soul grind. That's exactly what that is for, is to be able to grind and hustle and to not give up, but to also to share your soul, because that's what's worthy of being seen more than anything. Because that's what makes you so incredibly dope and beautiful and empowered and amazing. So yeah, that's it. There's no antidote. It's hard, it's terrifying, and it's beautiful and messy, and there's no right way to do it. But it's absolutely worth it, because you're worth it and you're worthy in every single bit of it. If anybody has anything to say about it, that's their stuff. Anyways.
Amen. So, and that's the soul grind.
The soul grind.
Yes. So there's a few questions that I think are just great questions. Megan is one of my girlfriends from college, and Rebecca, they both posted up here. Thank you guys for answering some of those questions. I asked what fears might anyone have in regards to sharing our story on social media, and how do you feel like there's something to share on social media? How did you find that? How did you figure out, let's read Megan's question. What were your first steps to turning your story into tangible posts? How did you take so many different bits and parts of the mess and just start putting them into posts, and then also turning them into, I had this, but this is where I'm also going?
Okay, well, you talked about pictures. Okay, so pictures really resonate with me. I love pictures. They help take me back. So at the beginning, I always post with a picture. The person that takes my pictures, her name's Jess Ambergy. And like literally I tell her about my story and we capture those pieces. Because to me, I think that when people see a picture, because it's not only about me, there's ones of me like in the bathtub, there's ones with me pills, there's ones with me with pregnancy tests, there's ones with me with lingerie. Because to me, like when I see that type of stuff on social media, I'm drawn to it because I feel like it has something to do with me and that might resonate with me. But also people used to make fun of me. They still do all the time. I don't care about how long my posts are. Okay. I don't care how long they are. If it resonates with you, you can read the whole damn thing. If it doesn't, it doesn't serve you. But like I started just writing. Like literally I would be like, oh, I feel something right now. I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to write it. And I would just go, then I would post it, take a picture with it and like leave it and let it go. But it doesn't matter how long it is. It doesn't matter how short it is. It doesn't matter if you want to talk about 50 things in one topic, because it's about your healing. The first person that ever started catching on to my writing and wanted to help me with the blog, I remember I had put the views on my blog. And I was like, man, he's like, why do you have the views on there? I was like, I don't know. I just want to see how many people. He's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people look at it. It's like, you're putting it up there to heal for you first and foremost. If someone else benefits, absolutely. He was like, but do not look at those page views. Do not look at those views in general. This isn't about them. It's about you. And that's exactly what you need to think about your Instagram posts, about your Facebook posts, about anything. It doesn't matter who else is looking. If it helped you heal a little bit more, that's all that matters. Just start writing and roll with it, whatever it looks like.
I think that's how you and I connected originally, because when I started coaching, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know where I was going to start. I didn't know why fitness was something that was good for my soul, but I knew it was good and I was going to figure it out through my writing. because
Uh-huh.
I had to do it. I knew I needed to do it. I didn't know what the end goal necessarily was, other than to hopefully help myself and help other people through helping myself. So, like you said,
Mhm.
what you mentioned earlier was in the trenches, in that gray area of time. The gray area is where we're really the most beautiful, and I think we are the most scared. And I think that's when, what you're saying, that's the leaning side. The gray area is the time that we lean versus stay shy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
And
great.
I think that, do y'all know anything about the lotus flower?
Enlighten us.
Okay, so the lotus flower, if you look it up, is a flower that only blooms in the muckiest of waters. So literally, if you see the lotus flower, it's like this beautiful flower, and it's all in this nasty muck. Like it's in the ugliest part of the pond. And that's exactly like what resonates with me. Like you are going to become the most powerful and the most beautiful in the muckiest of times. Like that's when you are formed and that's when you're built. So every time you think of just like your messiness, be like, I'm going to bloom up in this.
Get
Okay.
in there.
I'm going to bloom.
Get in there. Becca had something else to say. Where was it? How do we feel about sharing our story? And one of Becca's fears is if people don't care. If people don't care
There's
about
going
the
to be people that
story.
don't care. There's going to be absolutely people that don't care and that are going to say, why'd you even post that? That's stupid. Why are you telling people that? Like, do you think people care? Um, that happens a lot. And one thing that pivotal that my sister told me, because I remember it used to get under my skin, it used to steal my joy, it used to make me want to never post again or write anything. And my sister was like, every time that you put something out there, every time that you decide to say something or post something, you're giving anyone the authority and the ability to do whatever they want with it. So make sure that whatever you're putting out there, um, that you feel so good about that it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. Like it's not going to rattle you. You're at your truth in it and you feel really good in it. Because there's going to be people that, you know, are not at that place in their rise. They're not at that place where they want to share, and they're not at their place that they're ready to look at their shadows or that hard pieces of them. That's their stuff. In most cases, in any type of scenario that you know of, when someone's not ready to see things, when someone's not ready to grow, or someone's not ready to do healing, the first people to go in any scenario are the truth tellers. The people that are going to look at you in your face and be like, why are you doing that? That doesn't serve you. That's not right. When you're not ready to grow, you become defensive and you don't want that in your life because you know you're not going to do work around it. So the people that are going to get defensive and the people that are going to say stuff are saying stuff because they don't want to look at their stuff either. And your stuff reminds them of their stuff and they're not ready to do that work. So every time that they do stuff like that, you got to step away and be like, I'm going to let you carry that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the work that I need to do. This might not be the work you desire to do right now or that you want to do, but this is the work I need to do. So I'm going to continue to do that. And you send them love and light and you send them on their way. Because I also have a lot of people that were totally not up for the soul grind, thought it was really dumb, a really stupid idea. And now it's helping them in some shape or form in their life in a trial or a tragedy that they never thought would happen to them. So, like, allow things to go, allow people to process and delete the really mean stuff. You don't need to see that. And realize that that's not your stuff to carry. So don't let it steal your joy. Don't let it rattle you for any longer than a couple seconds to acknowledge why it does rattle you. And then continue to do what you're supposed to do. Stand in exactly who you are.
I think one big thing that I usually get from a lot of new coaches just starting out on this journey, wanting, you know, they're starting their business and everything, is a lot of them feel a little nervous that them posting frequently on their social media might be annoying to friends and family. or they're nervous about what their friends and family will think, and not just strangers. We're not even at the level of like other people reading their posts. It's almost like they want strangers to read their posts, but they can't get past that friends and family hurdle, and to feel okay with sharing their trenches, knowing that their friends and family are watching, especially. And I also get questions of, should I start a new Instagram and kind of block my family or friends? And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of speak that to you and see what your thoughts are on that.
The most intimate people in your life are the hardest. It sucks. You could have like 3,000 people on your page and you've never met them before, and they're your biggest fans. They just like want to be BFF with you. They want to support you. They want to love you up. And then you're going to go next door to your neighbor's house and they're going to be like, why did you post that? You know, and that's going to hurt. Definitely, I had that issue because I've had this issue with my book that's getting published. It was the hardest piece for me to write about the most intimate people in my life. And knowing that I was going to share my trenches about them. And it was really hard to post about soul grind stuff or my vulnerable stuff with people that I've been to high school with people that my family, it took them a while to be like, you really gonna put all this out there? I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm gonna continue to do that. You still love me? And now they're like my biggest fans. And so like, allow people to see this new version of yourself. It's going to take them a while to adjust, just like it's going to take you a while to adjust. That doesn't mean you stop doing it, but that means that you can reintroduce yourself, because a lot of people, it's going to be weird for you to be vulnerable. It's also going to be weird for them to see this different side of you, possibly this more confident side of you, or this more vulnerable, like open side of you, this piece of you that feels like relentless and authentic and like, here I am. Like, a lot of people are not used to that. And so realize that they're adjusting, but you can't slow down for them. You can allow the conversation to remain open. And the most important people in your life will still be there. That's what matters. Like, your people, they don't just become your people. Your people stay your people. And they will rise with you and they will adjust with you. So if there's people that are continuing to like discount you or to not celebrate you, I think that's a really hard thing with women. There's a lot of people that were amping the soul grind up when I first started it. We're my number one fans. We're inviting people. We're sharing stuff. After things actually started taking off a little bit, I lost them. So I think that there's a piece too that you're going to realize through this journey of vulnerability, like who's supposed to be in your tribe and who really wants to see you rise and do well, and who becomes uncomfortable with your growth and your healing. So, you know, it's going to impact you in different ways. So just be open and aware, and have so much love and grace with yourself. It's like really, really important. You're going to be in a tender state of life. You're going to be in a place that's more sensitive and that's more aware. Once you open those portals, I said this, I didn't feel for a really long time. When I started feeling, it was like all of me was like, it was like this massive, it's like, oh, I want to feel too, like anger, me too. Oh, grief, me too. Oh, sadness, let's just feel forever and cry all the time. Like, so it's going to be the exact same way when you open yourself up, when you open your body up to being seen. It's going to be, oh, me, let me be seen, let me be seen, let me be seen, talk about me, like heal through me. And so like, just be open for all that comes. You might get some new dope people in your life, and then some might leave. So just when we rise, we don't take everybody with us, unfortunately. It's a hard thing, but I think that we take who we're supposed to. So,
and they'll come with you if you like it or not.
Yep, they're gonna be like, girl, I'm still gonna cheer you on.
Yeah.
Like, you have to comment on everything. Yes,
of course.
Okay, great.
So I have one or two more questions, but I don't want to hog it. Does anyone else want to, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and hop on. at any time.
Yeah, I'm an open book, obviously.
And drop it in chat if you have any questions, please. Shoot, what was one of my questions? Another question was, what if someone doesn't feel like they have a story to share? What if someone doesn't feel like they've had a lot of stuff happen to them yet, or like their story isn't good enough to share? How?
Everybody's got some.
Amen.
Everybody. If you're saying you don't got something, you lying. But you got something. And like the thing about that is like I have too much of some things. So I felt like, and this is how I'm writing a book. My book's about to be published, which is insane. Never thought that was gonna happen. I'm super excited. But like in the book, I say like none of this is pretty. It's not sparkly, it's not shiny. Like this book is not sparkly or shiny, it's not pretty, but what it is like who I am. So like I'm gonna honor that. That's the same thing if it was completely opposite. What if your life has been sparkly and shiny? All right, shed some of those sparkles, shed some of those glitters. I could take some. I could have taken some for a lot of life, you know. So like it doesn't have to be like, unfortunately I have a lot of tragedy to share. Like that's just how it is. I also have a lot of healing and rise to share and things like that, but like our lives are built on purpose the way that they're built. So whatever you have been through, it's things that you are here to share, you're here to encounter, you're here to give. Like you have some type of magic within you, gifts, talents that are different from anybody. Mine happened to be sharing a lot of hard stuff. And that's what I feel like I'm born to do. That's what I feel like I went through all of this to do, is to share hard stuff and like to be with other women in their hard stuff. Other people like some of you like believe in empowering women in their bodies and feeling good and feeling powerful and being able to take ownership of that and lead other women. Like, there's a lot to share about that. There's a lot to share about happiness and joy, and for women to be okay with being happy. There's a lot about, you know, loving your body, looking in the mirror and feeling empowered. There's a lot about dating a partner that's actually healthy and being proud of that. Like there's a lot of things. Figure out what sets your soul on fire and write about it and share about it, because you're not the only one. Like you're not the only one at all. And in those moments that you feel it, whether it be like I was at the pool the other day and there's this really fit mom that had 3 boys, and I like sat by her at the pool and I was like, girl, you look so good. And she was like, what? I was like, I don't know what I'm saying, but you look so good. And she's like, girl, thank you. And we ended up having this like such dope conversation for 30 minutes. So like that's what I'm talking about. It's like those little leans. It can be a conversation with literally anyone. It can be a post. Just lean into those feelings of passion, oomph, that is something that's supposed to come out of your spirit and like come out of your mouth and come out in writing. And do it in a safe way, obviously. There's a lot of things I can't share and that I have to share in confidentiality or like a little bit sugar coated. And that's for my own safety, for my family's safety. So make sure you're always doing everything safely. But at the same time, don't ever hold yourself back.
Amen. And to go off of that confidentiality that you just spoke on, Jillian asked, how do you share your story without losing every ounce of privacy? Is there a line?
Yes, this is one thing I learned the hard way. Actually, I met with an attorney because I've had to do a lot of legal stuff. And literally someone asked me, like, because in domestic violence, you literally, like, he just completely trashed everything about me. That's just that's part of like a lot of my shame story. It's like all the things that he has said about me and made me feel like I am that I'm not. And so like I just literally told them my whole life story, all the mistakes I'd made, everything I had done. I remember my lawyer's eyes being like this big and being like, yeah, so we didn't have to share all that. We didn't have to share all that. And I was like, what? I'm just trying to be honest. And she's like, maybe not that honest. And in that moment, I was like, okay, so there's pieces of me. Like I'm very authentic. My whole life is out there. But there's also pieces that you have to make sure that really serve you before you share. Because people will know you differently, and we'll see you differently, and we'll know intimate things about you. So like not everything in my life is all over social media or in my book or anything like that. Like Brene Brown says, like there's certain people that deserve our vulnerability. Some people do not deserve our vulnerability. Now, when I go and post on social media, I do that, and I know when I'm posting is going to possibly hit the people that don't deserve it and the people that do deserve it. But I have to walk into knowing that both parties, I'm still cool with sharing this piece of myself. Um, and so there's pieces that, like, when I speak sometimes, depending on the population I'm speaking in front of, I'm not going to say I snorted pills and took pills and I got drunk all the time. I'm going to say I lived a really numbing lifestyle. So, like, say it in a way that serves you, say it in a way that honors you, say it in a way that feels really good in your truth. There's some days I don't want to dig all the way into some of the most painful parts of my life. It's not that I'm not going to share it. It's that I'm not going to go all the way in depth. So I will say, like, I lived a really numbing lifestyle for many years and made a lot of mistakes. I had a lot of mornings that I woke up that I, made myself lay in bed because of regret and sadness and pain. So that's a way of me coding it without having to literally break down every ounce of my being that I'm still healing from. Does that kind of answer that?
That sounds, yeah, that's so that, and then from some of the calls that I've caught in the past as well, from our upper team, they've always said, like, if there's situations that involve other people that also might be legal, or maybe just don't know how to share, even saying something like you're saying, coding it, and then saying that might not be this, it's not my story to share, or I'm not fully ready to share it just yet. Maybe one day, but as of right now, this is where I'm healing. So, like you said, can kind of cover things, but not dig in.
Oh yeah. And no one can ever force you to say anything. No one can ever force to tell you your story. Don't let them push you. Don't let you do anything. You do that when that serves you. There's many times that some people have asked me to speak and I've looked at their stuff and I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel like a very supportive crowd for me to do that. Like, that doesn't serve me. Mm-mm. So like, I will take another opportunity. I for sure will, but I'm not going to set myself up for being, criticized or for really being hurt by truth telling. Like, I'm not to that place. So be mindful of how you share, when you share. And even if if it's not on social media, if you're just hopping in your journal or if you're hopping on the notepad in your phone.
Oh no, wait, lost you. Wait. Are you there? Where are you? Ask to unmute.
Oh my goodness. Was I talking to myself the whole time?
No, we got you. We got the whole time you've been on mute.
Me and my mom do that all the time. I'll be like, Mom, where'd you go? She's like, girl, I've been gone 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, well,
shoot.
Guess none of that's important anymore.
Man, where did it go? I had one more.
You all seem amazing. Can I have like one I am statement from you, all of you? Or a couple, we don't have to limit to one, but like an I am affirmation, like I am powerful, or I'm beautiful, or I'm mighty, or I'm a badass, or I'm empowered, or something.
Becca, what do you have? I am adventurous.
Then we have a I am strong.
Determined. Loving.
Oh.
One thing that Amy
wrote. Mallory, I got you. Wait till COVID be over. I love Fonte's coffee. That's where we should go.
A mom of 3 under 3. Again, I am a mom of 3 under 3.
Oh my goodness. Who is that?
Megan. Is that
Get it?
Isn't that a story?
You would be the one at the pool that I'm like coming up to like, what? I literally did those faces to her and she was like, I was like, girl,
People
I
do
didn't
that all
even.
the time. They can come up to us all the time. Are these all yours? Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you all are badass. You are strong and determined. You all have great energy too. You know, it's like really good people when they have good energy, like from a screen. It says a lot.
Amen. Yeah, one thing I love that Amy said above, she said it took me years to go from poor me to look at how hard my life was to look at me, I'm a badass. I've overcome so much.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's pretty.
That's stepping into your power.
One thing real quick too that I wanted.
Hey girl, you don't need to go on Amy's level. You need to go on Allie's level. Okay? We get on Allie's level. We're going to root Amy on in her level while we get on Allie's level.
Yes. Allie just started coaching less than a month ago and she's kicking some booty.
Oh my goodness. That's so awesome.
Kicking some booty. One thing that I know that Mallory and I ran into big time when we first started coaching was how we were sharing our story, but we were sharing it so authentically that it attracted energy stealers from us. It attracted negative Nancys into our lives. So
what type of negative Nancys? Like men or like women that are just very like degrading towards empowered women?
Women that were in the place that we were sharing we were in, but we came out of.
Yeah, so they're in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, lost you again. Wait. You're saying something so good and we can't hear you. Wonder why.
What? Am I on mute again?
Got.
Oh my God. I don't even see my little mute button come on. Does it come on without me? I thought, is that an infant?
Baby.
Oh, oh my God. I thought, but I didn't want to be like the creeper that said something. I'm glad someone else did. There you go. Thank you. Because I was like, is that a baby? And then I was like, oh, I want to ask, but then I didn't want to. So you know what? Thank you for being brave, Megan.
I leaned in.
It's our brave soul in here. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That's precious. Okay, so what I said was that that normally when people are irritated like that, you all were the truth tellers in that scenario. So people will get rattled when their stuff is like out in the open. So like if you're sharing and you're vulnerable and they're like in that place, it makes them feel some real type of way. So they are going to get rattled, get defensive, get mean, get dirty. And that's because a piece of them is like, why are you rising out of that? And I'm right here still wrestling with that. Allow them to wrestle with it. Like allow them to roll around in it and like sit in it and do work around it. Do not carry that. Do not take it with you. That's not your stuff. But they will. And I call that splattering. Me and my son all the time. That's how we operate. Like if we're in a mood and something's going on, we're like, don't splatter on me. The other day, literally, my son was like, Mom, you're splattering on me. Okay, that's not mine. And I was like, you're very right. That is not yours. And so I need to like take that somewhere else. Sorry, I'm gonna wipe you off. Like, but that's all that is. That is splattering. And so when people get rattled and when they get uncomfortable, it's like all their stuff is like rising up and they see this like evolving, blooming woman in you. And so when they see that, they get upset. I remember when I was in a single parent like nonprofit income-based housing. Okay, so we would see when people would move out and would be getting their educations and would be doing something with their life. And so I remember when one of the girls that came in at the same time as me got her bachelor's, went and then bought a house before me. And like, I'm a very loving woman. I love women. And when I looked at her, I got rattled. Like I was like, what? Like I've I've worked hard. Like, how do you get to do this before me? You know, and a piece of me was like envious, and I could see like my blossom, what I wanted my blossom to be in her, and I didn't have it yet. And so that ached inside my spirit. And it wasn't that I was unhappy for her. It wasn't that I didn't want her to be successful. We're still really good friends. She's killing it. She's a boss lady. It was the fact that it was rattling things in me that I hadn't gotten to yet. Like, it wasn't my time yet. It wasn't my time to do that. It wasn't my time. I wasn't ready yet. I hadn't saved enough. I like still had needed to get another degree, like all that kind of stuff. But when things are at a place where someone really desires it to be and they're not there yet, it's going to rattle them. And only the people that are in a place of growth, like I was able to step back and be like, I love her. Like, why the am I rattled about her? I need to be, and so I needed to pour into her. And I was honest with her. I was like, man, something about being at your house annoyed the poop out of me. Like, I love you. I'm so excited, but it made me feel some type of way. And I was like, and the only reason why I did that was because you are so blossomed. And like, I am working on it, but like, that's my irritation and my lack of patience to get there. Like, so that's not you, that's me. Right. And so you got to realize when people aren't going to get to that place with you. They're not going to check. They might check back in with you later, but right then they're not going to be like, sorry, like, I'm really pissed and rattled inside that you're blossoming and that you're successful and that you're doing well and you're climbing the ladder and that you look fit as hell. And like, I'm not there yet. So allow them, just think in your head every time, like, she's rattled by my blossom. And you know what? I'm going to allow her to be that, but I'm going to continue to like send her love and light and hope that she gets there, because once she gets past that rattle stage, maybe she'll be able to do the work that she needs to do. But do not take it personally. That is not yours. And go to one of these members of people in your tribe and literally say, this was said to me and it rattled me. But like, I need to just get it out and I need to let it be heard so that I can move on. I continue to do what I am really good at and what I'm gifted at. Right? Mm-hmm. It's hard. Women are hard sometimes. We can be the best.
So not that I'm
biggest of enemies.
I'm so sorry. You keep going.
No, go ahead.
Hi. Not that I'm like, whatever new. I'm totally new to the coaching thing, but I do speak to teen moms. A lot. I was 16 when I got pregnant, and a lot of people said that they wanted to be on my level. And one of the biggest things, I know that we talked about it earlier, for me though, was who I surrounded myself with. Even my family members, some of them were really disappointed in me being a mom at 16. I came from a Church of Christ. I don't know if y'all know anything about Church of Christ. I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a very...
They don't even dance, much less do what you did. Mm-mm.
So yes, exactly. At 16, a lot of members of the church were hateful to me. I developed this really like toxic view of myself from that. And when I got into college and I got out of that Church of Christ, like group of friends and everything, I developed friendships where people were like, oh my God, you're amazing. Like, you're at UAB studying nursing and you have a 5-year-old at home. Like, this is incredible. Like, you're amazing. Like, all these people that like, it has everything to do with who you surround yourself with. And I tell every teen mother that I speak with to find better friends if they are being ugly and judging them and everything else, because you need those hype people like in your life that are like, you are a badass for everything you've ever done. Mm-hmm. You're incredible.
I love that so much. It gave me little cold chills. I feel like that needs to be in a quote, that last sentence that you said. Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. I think that you have to be around people that that honor you and want the best for you and that want to see you rise. And there's a lot of people that don't want that. So to be able to stand in your truth, even when, people are speaking that stuff to you because it's not true and it's not your truth. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. I think one last thing is as I feel like when we step up into that next level of our lives and where we're trying to go to in that gray area, like you described so beautifully, being willing to, when we're ready to level up and we want to get into that next step of life, understanding when other people are maybe criticizing us versus trying to help us, and finding that middle line of when to listen and when not to listen. Do you ask yourself, like, do you find yourself in a position of like, okay, how am I going to interpret this? Do I hear it and tell them thank you? Or do I hear it and is this something I need to listen to and level up to? Like, is this good advice for my business that I should be taking to that next level? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. So in a lot of cases, I think that we, especially like people with experiences such as mine, like we have not trusted our own wisdom because we've been told we aren't right, or we don't know what we're thinking and feeling, and that it's not valid or that it's not correct. So I think that that's a really deep personal journey, and being able to first not rush answers. Because I at first was like a person that was like, yes, like, you know, I need to like immediately answer right now. I think silence is one of the dopest things I've learned. And then also like, I'll get back with you, you know, like I'm going to process this, because I think, you know, especially, no offense to anyone that likes the book Girl Wash Your Face, I can't stand that book. And the reason why I can't, sorry if y'all have done like a little book club or something on it, but the reason why I can't is because I feel like she talks very fully about, you know, being a woman, being a boss lady, and like putting that above anything else. If we are women and we are boss ladies, then we should be able to also set the tone. We should also be able to say, I'll get back to you, or this doesn't work for me, or this is actually what does work for me. So if you desire to give me input, or you desire to have me somewhere, or you desire me to do something, then you also can do it in the time frame I'm available to, where it doesn't compromise other things. So I really think that you don't ever need to feel that there's a pressure, first of all, to give an answer. And second of all, if something is for you, it's going to be for you. If it feels uneasy, if it doesn't feel right, you need to listen to that. I have learned that I've had to listen to things that rattle me and make sure that it's not my own trigger.
No. Wait, we lost you again. It like, it goes away for like 20 seconds and then you come back.
I'm so thankful for the hand. So I think making sure that you are on the rational side and you don't stick on the emotional side is also really important. One thing that actually, it's funny you say that, because literally 48 hours ago, the publishing company that is picking me up is like a really incredible company. So there was a lot. I was excited because like I'm a first time author and everything. The first like 3 people I contacted were like thinking it was way too good to be true. They were like, you need to not be excited. Like I had it looked over by an attorney, like all this kind of stuff. So in my head, I was thinking as a woman, I couldn't be excited and aware at the same time. Like people were pretty much telling me that because I was excited, I wasn't going to be able to think rationally, and I wasn't able to be thinking like a businesswoman. So I think you need to also realize that it's okay for you to be excited about things, or to feel challenged by things, or to be like, is this correct? That you can be all of those feelings and you can be intelligent at the same time. I'm pretty sure men, you know, always are thought of being both of those things at the same time.
Amen.
So I don't know why it's compartmentalized for us, but it is possible for us to be in tune with things, to feel things, to be aware of things, to process things, and still have really strong feelings. So I really do challenge you to listen to those things. There's a lot of opportunities that have not been great that have been handed to me, and that have been that did not serve me. And I remember every single time, whether it be a videographer, whether it be someone that I have given money or entrusted time with that I have felt some type of way before I had leaned. So like, you need to listen to your intuition and your wisdom. You're smarter than you think you are, and you're wiser than you give yourself credit for. So have your people in your corner, throw it around with them, see what they have to say, but ultimately do what's best for you. You're the one that's going to have to live with the decisions. That's the same thing when people don't like your boyfriend or your partner, your girlfriend, whatever. Do they have to wake up every day and every night with that person? Do they have to live every single day with that person? No. Their opinion doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you that has to live every single day with those choices. So I think that's how you need to go into the business mindset too, and that you're a boss. So you can take feedback. You can be rattled by accountability. I love honest feedback. I love accountability, but I'm also going to process all of it and make sure I believe it to be fully true and something I want to fully commit in.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
It is hard sometimes. Like, is this my feelings or is this somebody else's coming through?
Mm-hmm. And is this what someone else wants me to do? Or is this actually like what serves me to do?
Amen. Cool, you guys. Anything else? Any last minute thoughts? Anything? That was awesome and beautiful and wonderful. And God, I hope I was recording. Gosh, I hope I was recording. I was. Okay. I hope to get this recording up and over to you, JD, and into our tribe by tomorrow. So everyone look for that. And
everybody add me on Facebook so I can keep up with your life.
Yes, please head over to the Soul Grind. She will be there. JD, thank you so much again for sharing your wisdom, your experiences, and everything that you have allowed yourself to be set up for. That path that you walk definitely helps other women walk it.
Hope so. So your trenches are not in vain, every single one of you. So use them, lean into them. I can't wait, if we're friends on social media, to just blow your wall up whenever you post those really vulnerable stuff. And you can just message me and be like, JD, I'm feeling naked. And I will just post some little pictures of clothing, and I'll just be like, boom, here we are. There you are. Okay. I will support you. I will cheer you on. I'm all about you standing in who you are and what you're made of. So you lean into me when you need to too.
You're light. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. So much love to you guys. Happy Tribe Tuesday. Love you all so much. I'll see you all tomorrow.
You all are amazing. Bye.
Night.